This day is trying me. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Crue Trime. You know what, can we just get to it? I'm here to tell you a terrible story to ruin your day while I blend my concealer and questionable life choices. Today's case is complicated, internet-fueled, and ultimately not a crime, but it does have a heartbreaking turn and a lot to say about how we chase mysteries online. So let's get right to it. This is the story of Hana Kobayashi. As I have said a gajillion times, a gajillion is an actual number. It's not. I don't talk about the makeup as I'm using it, but if you're interested to know any of it, look in the description box because everything is linked. On November 8th, 2024, 30-year-old Maui photographer Hana Midori Eve Kobayashi flew to Los Angeles on the way to New York. She didn't make that connecting flight. Instead, she went off the grid. Over the next few days, her text messages to her family got really alarming. Stuff about like her ID being stolen, and then all contact stopped completely. Cue the GoFundMe campaign, missing person flyers, TikTok tarot card readers. And then the LAPD stepped in and was like, actually, she walked into Mexico on her own, suitcase rolling behind her. Whoa. WTF, right? The internet collectively short-circuited. Was this human trafficking? Was this an immigration scam? Was this a mental health break? Let's find out. Hana Midori Eve Kobayashi was born on December 24th, 1993 in Oahu, Hawaii to Brandy Yee and Ryan Kobayashi. She was a full-on flower child, you know? Very creative, drawing, painting, making art with natural materials. She created journals with pressed flowers and illustrations. She kept a vision board of like her creative thoughts and life goals. In 2004, the now 30-year-old Hana was working on a photography career. In the last 5 years or so, she was all in and things were finally starting to pay off for her. She'd booked a paying job in New York. She was supposed to travel to Brooklyn to cover a Scott Hansen show at Brooklyn Steel, like up in Williamsburg. Scott Hansen is like a famous DJ who does like ambient, vibey music, whatever.
Hey guys, I am Tag Giesleman.
The show was supposed to happen on November 13th, 2024. Hana was so excited. She had a press pass and everything. She also had an aunt who lived nearby. Her name was Jordan. She lived like outside the city and she had planned to visit with her while she was in town. So Hana had also recently broken up with her longtime boyfriend, a guy named Amun Muniz Miranda. It was as amicable as a breakup could be, and actually they had planned to travel together to New York while Hana did the photography gig, but then they broke up before the trip. So they already had the plane tickets. And since they were on such good terms, they just decided to continue the trip as planned. But once they landed in New York, they intended to kind of like go their own way. You know, they weren't going to share a hotel room or anything. So on November 8th, Hana and Amun boarded the flight from Maui with this connection in Los Angeles. So now it's November 9th. Hana didn't make her connecting flight, even though Amun got on the plane and went on to New York. Now, some reports say that Hana accidentally missed that flight, and that's normal. It's a thing that happens. They also say that she attempted to rebook the flight, but the cost was just too high. So she was in contact with her family at the time and she told them she was just going to sleep in the airport. Yuck. Been there myself. It's the worst. So Hana rode the metro from LAX to downtown LA to check out the sights. So she went to the Grove, which is an upscale outdoor LA mall, and Instagram backdrop. Security footage from that area showed Hana at a bookstore, and she even signed up for their newsletter. Now, what kind of bookstore was it? I don't know. I find it weird. If you're visiting, why do you sign up for the newsletter? I don't know. Hana also used Venmo to make a couple purchases, and some of the reports say that that's weird, she's Venmoing money to strangers, but Venmo is a very normal thing, especially for small street vendors and stuff. So then fast forward to the next day, Hannah still did not get on a plane to New York. Instead, she went back to the Grove. This time she was at a Nike store event. It was like a LeBron James sports thing. I don't know. She went back to LAX. She was texting with her Aunt Jordan in New York, letting her know that she was still planning on coming. She just needed to like sort out this airline plane ticket drama. Fast forward to November 11th. Instead of boarding a flight, Hannah was seen on security footage at the metro station near LAX retrieving her luggage. So, like, when she missed that original connecting flight, her bag was on the plane and it got all the way to New York and then flew back to LA. Then Hannah started sending weird text messages. She told her mom didn't make it to New York, which, duh, that's not really weird, but what made it weird is that she didn't elaborate. She didn't say stuff like, but I'm booking another flight or I'm going to sort it out. Like none of that. Her friends received even weirder messages. One of them said, deep hackers wiped my identity, stole all of my funds, and have had me on mindfuck since Friday. What? I mean, no wonder her friends and family started freaking out. Those messages were wild, y'all. I did find a picture of Hannah's like handwritten itinerary, like her plans for the trip. Some people are calling it like a bucket list. Now, this girl's kind of a space cadet. But as much as you can be a space cadet when you're still the kind of person who makes an itinerary, which I appreciate. I'm that person. What I'm getting at is that Hannah was giving like manic pixie dream girl energy. You know what I'm saying? Like the kind of person who's super dramatic, flaky, space cadet, but also like operating purely on vibes. You know what I'm saying? Actually, when you look at her itinerary right here, vibes. A lot of like, here's the idea, but vibes also.
Well, I'm not supposed to worry about stuff like that.
Anyway, so November 11th, when she was sending these bizarre messages, that was the last time that she texted with anyone in her circle. One of the last messages she sent said something like, I just finished a very intense spiritual awakening. What? And she was planning to continue going on to New York City, but instead, she ghosted. Now, after this, her family reported her missing. They feared that she had been kidnapped, that she was being trafficked, or like she joined a cult, or worse. Surely somebody had taken her phone and was like sending those bizarre text messages as her, right? Or maybe Hannah was sending like coded messages, to kind of signal that she was in trouble. So with the police involved now, security footage tapes were getting pulled, and the last footage of Hannah showed her at the Pico metro station in downtown LA. And she was walking with a stranger, some guy that nobody else recognized, and her family said that she did not look well. Did I mention that Hannah's phone was found at LAX? Yeah, so like wherever Hannah was, she didn't have her phone, either by mistake or intentionally, but it didn't look good, right? So Hannah's whereabouts spiraled, into Reddit's Crue Trime rabbit hole. Hannah's 58-year-old father, Ryan, flew from Hawaii to LA to search for his daughter. He spent every hour searching the city. He wasn't sleeping, he wasn't eating, nothing. He was going through homeless encampments, drug dens, the kind of places he hoped he wouldn't find her. He papered the city with missing posters. He handed out endless amounts of flyers. It was a total nightmare.
And I just wish that I could have been there more for her,
And now you are.
Yeah, trying, it's just, yeah.
Tell.
Trying to get closer to her, trying to find her is everything.
He told people that he hoped that Hannah's return could help repair their strained relationship, which had become pretty non-existent in recent years, but all he wanted was to get her back. Hannah's mother, Brandy, stayed in Hawaii. I guess she wasn't in good enough health to travel, but she helped investigators kind of go through Hannah's apartment to search for potential clues. Her mom allegedly found some documents in Hannah's apartment that she provided to law enforcement. What kind of documents, you ask? Well, The reports say that they were like strange immigration documents, whatever that means. Hannah was an American citizen, born and raised. So an article that was published in the Daily Mail, which take it with a grain of salt, I guess, but the article suggested that Hannah might have been caught up in an immigration visa scam. So her ex-boyfriend, Amun Muniz Miranda, that name is so hard for me. Anyways, he allegedly orchestrated sham marriages for money. In Hawaii, marriage certificates are not public record. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So Hannah had allegedly secretly married an Argentine national named Alan Carcache. And her ex, Amun, married another woman who was actually Alan's girlfriend, Mariana. It's like reverse Uno of green cards. So when Hannah flew to New York, it wasn't just her and her ex-boyfriend Amun. It was like the whole fake newlywed gang. And some say that it was meant to look like a honeymoon of sorts, something that they could share with immigration officials to make it look like the marriages were legitimate. The problem is, all of them who were on that plane from Maui to LA, they got on the connecting flight to New York, but Hannah didn't. On purpose. Weird. So after an exhausting 13-day search, there was another twist in the case. Hannah's father, Ryan, was dead. His body was discovered in a Los Angeles parking lot in the 6100 block of Century Boulevard around 4 a.m. on Sunday, November 24th. He had apparently leapt from a parking structure, taking his own life. Now, the conspiracy theories went off the charts. Crazy. People speculated that Ryan was somehow involved, or that he was executed by the terrible people who had taken Hannah. At any rate, none of that was true, and none of it helped the situation at hand. So if Hannah's family wasn't already heartbroken, their suffering was now exponentially worse. Ryan's death added this unbearable weight to a case that was already drenched in speculation.
He genuinely fought until his last breath to find my sister. And he gave it his all. He deprived himself of sleep. He wasn't eating. He was only caring about everybody else's feelings but his own.
Despite that, they did urge the public to maintain focus on the search for Hannah. She was actively missing, and they sincerely believed that she was in imminent danger. So the last known video footage of Hannah showed her with this stranger that nobody recognized, and her family noted that she appeared to be out of it. You know what I mean? Maybe she had been drugged or was under duress of some kind. She had never disconnected from her family or friends like this before. This had to be something else. So they kept beating the drum for her search, hoping to find her safe. We now know that on November 12th, 2024, at 6:10 a.m., Hannah paid cash for a Greyhound bus ticket at Union Station in downtown LA. Within a few short hours, surveillance footage at the San Isidro point of entry showed Hannah crossing into Tijuana, Mexico, alone with her luggage. She appeared to be, clean, showered, no signs of distress, just looking at ease and perfectly voluntary. So on December 2nd, 2024, the Los Angeles Police Department, who had been leading the investigation, declared Hannah a voluntary missing person. They had found evidence on her social media accounts that she had expressed a desire to disconnect from modern technology, and she had a right to do that, no matter how much stress it might have caused her friends and family. After reviewing all of the information available, there just weren't any signs of foul play. No evidence of kidnapping, no evidence of trafficking, none of that. Now, Hannah's family was shocked. They didn't agree at all, that anything about Hannah's disappearance was voluntary. She didn't suffer from mental illness or drug addiction. There was literally nothing that could explain this except for something unimaginable. Now, since Hannah had not committed a crime, there was no warrant for her arrest, there was no legal grounds, no reason for law enforcement to search for her. So they didn't. Mexican authorities could locate her and let her family know that she was safe, but they couldn't bring her back to the United States. Hannah's family was heartbroken, but not deterred. Her sister Sydney worked with the Mexican media to raise public awareness about Hannah's disappearance, and she also engaged with an attorney to work with local law enforcement partners to try and find answers. Now, the public was split. Once the news broke about Hannah being a voluntary missing person, the appetite to search for her disappeared. And Hannah was 30 years old. You know, she was on vacation. It's allowed. And Hannah's description of being a free spirit is kind of code for irresponsible. I mean, can we agree? On December 11th, 2024, Hannah Kobayashi was found in good health, unharmed, in Mexico. She had not been kidnapped. She was not under duress. 4 days later, she crossed back into the United States and claimed to have no idea that she had been missing or that her disappearance had become a major news story.
Cause I don't care.
Yeah, immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no.
She told journalists, quote, "My focus now is on my healing, my peace, and my creativity, and I am deeply grateful to my family and everyone who has shown me kindness and compassion during this time. I kindly ask for respect for myself, my family, and my loved ones as I navigate through this challenging time."
Okay.
Hannah's family released a statement to the media. They said, "This past month has been an unimaginable ordeal for our family, and we kindly ask for privacy as we take the time to process everything we have been through. We want to express our heartfelt thanks to everyone who supported us during this difficult time." That's something. So 6 months after Hannah's disappearance, she finally broke her silence. And not to explain what the hell happened or why, but to... Here, just watch for yourself.
Every day is such a gift, especially after such loss and pain. How grateful I am for everyone, every single person. Thank you.
Okay, everyone is fighting a battle that you don't know about, so like just be cool, right? But there's something about her delivery that makes me squint. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like very contrived and affected. The hand on her heart. Please, girl. So I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth about what really happened to Hannah Kobayashi, why she disappeared, which conspiracy theory is true or not true, or if there were scams in play or not. But y'all, this story is screaming for a Netflix documentary. Am I right? But that is the story of Hannah Kobayashi. If you want to know what makeup I used in today's look, then look down in the description box because everything is linked. Also down in the description box is a link to a Google document where you can recommend a Crue Trime story to me. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for hanging out today and for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then consider subscribing to this channel before you leave today. I upload new videos here on YouTube every week, and you can follow me on all of the other socials as well. That is it for now. I will catch you next time in the next video. Bye! We've been on like a non-murder kick for a while, unintentionally, but I promise we will get back to it soon. This is the channel where disappeared or disconnected. Oh my God. Already heartbroken. Broken. What is that? Help the situation at hand. Children.